Hello everybody, welcome back to another Broodwar ladder battle. Today we're going to be checking in on my boy Hero in a game versus Vegeta over here in the top left hand corner. This was sent to me once again by Dude Nerd, who said this was an interesting one. We'll leave it at that. Don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I've been trying to keep the thumbnails a little bit more spoiler free, but occasionally when something very interesting happens, I'm so tempted to tease you guys with a nice little thumbnail. Take for example that game that we just had earlier in the week, or I guess it was yesterday, with all of the Wraith, that big Wraith transition that Ride Sky did. Couldn't help myself but to throw that in the thumbnail. Just so interesting. That switch up that he did was certainly thumbnail worthy. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to do less spoilage with the thumbnail. And looks like Ride Sky, gotta get my name straight here, Vegeta is going to scout this Overlord. Now he knows exactly where Hero is, and of course Hero knows where his opponent is as well. Goes for the third attack, not able to get it. Just 10 damage on this Marine, and that Marine's gonna be a bit scared, gonna go hide behind that wall for now. Spawning pool is just finishing up, so now that he sees how far along the spawning pool is, he's gonna start to move out a little bit. I don't think this is gonna do too much. 2 lings, maybe 4 lings popping out would be enough to completely annihilate this. So I think he's just going to come a little bit further forward maybe and then turn around. That would be the smart decision in a situation like this. Hero revealing those lings to the SCV. Marines are just going to head home now. Let's see what the follow-up is. Engineering Bay out of Vegeta. Vegeta going to get into an early +1. Now, will he go for +1 armor? We saw that yesterday, I believe. The early +1 armor, not a typical way of opening up. I think that was yesterday anyway. Sorry, the games start to kind of meld together when you cast as much as I do. I'm casting multiple series. A long series per week, 4, 5, 6 long series per week. It gets pretty jumbled up in my head, and it's gonna get worse as we get closer to the new series that I'm gonna be casting here soon. That's gonna be going live on Soup soon, so keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. I'll be posting some information probably on my Twitter or maybe just here on YouTube. We've got Simpack coming online. Pretty standard build. We don't have a second barracks just yet, so the Marine number is going to be very low. See if he can get any sort of response out of Hero by moving out with this first medic. I doubt that's going to be the case, though. Suddenly jumping up now to 3 barracks. The Mutalists are about to get started. Not gonna move too far forward with these Marines. That's a good choice. He hasn't had much vision out on the map, and it would be pretty scary to move out and potentially just get annihilated by lings. So staying back here in his wall for now. Had a bit of a pause there. Nothing too crazy is happening. Just some Mutalists being made and adding on up to 4 barracks so far. So 4 barracks +1 upgrade is a pretty standard build. This has been making the rounds for a while now. It's been in the meta for a good amount of time. And those turrets online right as the Mutas are crossing the map. That's exactly the timing that you want to look for as a Terran player. And those turrets erect just at that right time. Spending his gas, Hero is going to start to switch into drone production as he grabs his third base. He did go for 2.5 hatch, so he can drone up very quickly. He'll be up to Vegeta. He'll look to push out here soon. Looking for just a couple kills here and there. If he can get, 4 or 5 maybe SCV kills, Hero will be more than happy. 2 so far. Doesn't want to take too much damage on these mutas. These mutas are going to be a stopgap for some time. He actually goes after the turret, so he clears out the turret and he's going to fly through into the main. However, he lost the Mutalisk already. 2 more SCVs go down. Flying through, loses another of these Mutalisk, and he's going to go after this turret once again, now opening up the position, but he doesn't have the Mutalisk number to one-shot any longer. He's killed 5 mutas, or 5 SCVs, but he's lost 2 to 3 mutas in the process. And he begins his Mutalisk production again. During that time, Vegeta did not move out. He did not look to pressure. And so I think Hero's actually in a pretty good spot. He's going to fly in, deny the factory. 7-minute timing on the factory is going to be delayed. Going to look for more SCVs over at this base as well. But now it's time to head home. The +1 Marine army is quite strong. No +1 armor on the way, which is going to be a bit unfortunate for Vegeta. Definitely want to get that armor going as soon as possible. Kind of timing that out so it lands right around the time when lurkers come out is perfect. This is a good group of mutas, and Hero, knowing him, he's going to be able to pull this Marine Ball apart pretty well. Actually, very nice tight positioning from Vegeta. He's not allowing anything to step out of line. Any of these Marines are medics to getting themselves into a position where they're going to be easily sniped. And I mean, look at this trading out of him. He's really gunning down a lot of mutas. He even reinforces this army as well. Very good macro and control out of Vegeta now. Handling this Mutalisk group pretty darn well. Some of those straggler Marines did get picked off. They were coming up to reinforce this position, but that's more of a Hero W than a Vegeta mistake. Another round of units makes its way to the front. More Marines are coming up. A big group of Marines is going to reinforce this perfectly. Not a moment too soon here. Going to get into position to help out this army. End up losing a medic or two. No, the medics heal each other, and only 5 Mutalisks remain. Here's that transition on the way. +1 armor is coming as well. No lurker upgrade just yet. Needs to get that started here shortly. 6 drones are coming up. Is that too greedy? Is that too much greed from Hero? This is a 4 racks +1 Marine play with so many Marines coming out, and the medic or the Mutalisk count already being this low. Is he going to be able to get away with such a late lurker, as well as a big round of drones coming out at a time like this? I'll have to wait and see. He's had that third gas online for a little while. Hive is coming up as well. Back at home, there's going to be a science vessel started here shortly. And then that second gas is rolling. Still just dancing around the Mutalisks, or dancing around the Marines with the Mutalisks. However, Vegeta doing still a fantastic job of just keeping his attention on this Bioforce. Look at how tightly knit everything is in this group. Anytime you want to poke in there, you're going to end up losing, if not a full Mutalisk, at least a lot of HP off of one of them. That targeting again, really good targeting. Very good glaive bounce though, kills 3 Marines with 1 shot. But still forced to trade off a Mutalisk for that. Another Mutalisk goes, and look at this targeting out of Vegeta. I'm really impressed. Another round of Marines making its way out. And the barracks count has exploded. Just 1 science, okay, second starport over here. Science facility is making science vessels, but he doesn't have irradiate as far as I know. I did not see irradiate in the tab. Now, it might be one of those cases where I just wasn't paying attention, but that should be finishing up right around the time when you get your first vessel. It feels late to me. If he starts it now, that would still be okay. At least he'll be able to use all the energy from his first couple vessels. But if he doesn't, he's gonna end up using like a D-Matrix or something just to get rid of that energy here soon. Moving forward, there's gonna be some sort of counterattack, it looks like, heading towards the natural. Meanwhile, Marine's gonna hit 2 separate locations. Ooh, lurkers right there. They're pushing in. Not to that position just yet. Okay, Vegeta's just gonna come running in here and dive. Birds and Marines do a fantastic job holding all this stuff off. Looks like Vegeta is thinking about pushing into all these lurkers, but that is way too many. 6 lurkers, although they are in a very wide position, like you can get a pretty decent surface area surround on these. It's still going to be very, very hard. The +1 armor is really going to help though. That makes a big difference. Increasing the number of hits it takes to 3 for a lurker spine to kill a Marine. Was an opportunity maybe to bust through that. Oh, D-Matrix over here. It was the D-Matrix he ends up going for. And the lurkers are not attacking the right units. He's gonna just break through here. Okay, does need to get another... does need to get a comsat going. Where's the comsat? Okay, there's another science vessel coming up to the front. Lings are doing a good job, but the Marines are killing off a bunch of drones, and he's probably going to get the extractor as well. More reinforcements coming up. Vegeta doing a fantastic job of this, pushing everything back. He's probably going to rotate. No, he's actually going to run in here. This might be bad for Vegeta. He's spreading everything out. Only has 1 medic with all of these forces, though, and the Marines are not all targeting onto these lurkers, and so most of them are just going to end up dying here without really doing too much. Hero holds on, but there was like a skin of the teeth moment there for a second where maybe our Terran player could have busted through. Going into Hydralisk Defiler play. We saw this out of action yesterday, and the ability of a pro gamer, like an ASL level pro, to get massive value out of Hydralisk Defiler, it cannot be understated. Or it cannot be overstated, excuse me. And so we'll see how Hero is able to trade with these units. Hydra's holding the front line there. Ling's coming up from behind though, and Scourge are gonna come out as well. Where are these Scourge that are meant to kill off the science vessel? This is a very awkward position, by the way. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. If another Dark Storm comes down and lurkers are able to push forward, he could wipe this army, but more importantly, he'll want to get a whole bunch of Scourge together. If he can get 8 Scourge together, he can wipe out all the science vessels while wiping out the army, which will just be so impactful. Unfortunately, he's not going to bring those Scourge to bear. I don't see if he made any or not. Looks like he didn't. And so he won't be able to wipe out all those vessels, and they will just retreat. Start to throw down even more irradiates on those all-important lurkers. A base has been taken over here at the top right-hand corner. Looks like these mutas are about to get pushed back. Putting a lot of pressure onto the Zerg for now. But a great flag there. Really great flag. Putting 4 vessels and softening them up for later abuse by the Hydras. Lurker popping out. A little bit of defenses are in position, but could potentially gun down the Nidus. Like he will just target that. He'll end up losing quite a few Marines for the kill there, but going off the Nidus is a pretty decent win for Vegeta. Another base being taken over at the center left. More units being sent down to bottom left. So there's a possibility where he just starts taking bases all over the place. Ooh. Snipes from these Hydras, getting a few good kills on these vessels. Very important kills on the vessels in the middle of the map. He makes a lurker egg out of one of these Hydras. He's just going to keep that Hydralisk alive rather than allow it to die from the irradiate. Looks like it might still die. No, it actually does live. +2 armor is done. The upgrades are looking very good. +1 attack is done as well. Lurkers burrowing underground and pushing the issue here. But Hydras are not going to be able to stand against Marines with D-Matrix, that's for sure. They'll be pushed back all the way across the map. What are we at with the upgrades here? Looks like one of those vessels went down. There's still one in there with almost no HP. Only the 2-2 so far, and 3-3 is getting there, but it's not quite there yet. Hasn't started the +3 armor hero just yet either. That's a very expensive upgrade, and on 2 gas, it's kind of a big ask. Defiler will be irradiated down. And so the Hydralisk Defiler is not going to have quite the same punch with no Defiler in the mix. More Defilers popping out, and Hero actually needs to make something happen now. Doesn't have a whole lot of time left. There's kind of lollygag in this game. Run forward and kill these Marines, but look at how many Hydras are dying just to kill those few Marines on high ground. That is crazy. We lost a lot of forces just trying to deal with that. And vessels are coming up as well. Hydras are going to target them down. Can he get a couple of vessels here? One vessel so far. A little expeditionary force heading down to bottom center. That's going to be cleaned up. Looks like by some Lings and a couple of Lurkers moving into position. Darkstorm there as well to assist. Just to push things back. Defiler there. Looks like it might get irradiated as well. And a tank push is formulating. What is this? Double, triple factory? Just double factory for now. I don't see any upgrades on these either. But 4 tanks on high ground is nothing to scoff at. He targets down the Defiler. No, he will not. Defiler does get a Darkstorm up on top of these tanks, and a lot of them will go down. In fact, all of them will fall. That is a big moment. Resetting the tank count at this early stage is going to be impactful for the rest of this game, I imagine. Base down here is being held for now. A 4th gas is operational. Seems that Vegeta will not be able to deny Hero a 4th gas. And so this game will continue on. Although it's still on a clock for Hero. He needs to get another gas online before that 21-minute mark when these bases really start to run out. That is depleted. This is nearly depleted as well. And so he really does need to get a move on. He's still being pressured right now by Vegeta. However, another cleanup on these tanks is quite impactful. This is going to be a big deal. Tank count reset once again. And so there's a possibility where Hero gets down to bottom left now. And he can break open that base, get rid of the defenses there. And yeah, definitely don't want to allow that to finish, that CC up there on high ground. But he can get those bases going on that high ground. He can get a 5th gas online. He can take this one very, very long. Vegeta definitely doesn't want to allow that to happen. He's constantly threatening these other bases that don't have a lot of defenses at them. Oh my gosh, that Defiler's so unfortunate. Looks like he's gonna get irradiated here as well. Really needs a good plague on some of this stuff if he wants to be able to clear it. He doesn't get anything for that one Defiler, and another Defiler gets targeted down. Oh my god, Vegeta just killed 2 Defilers without any spells coming out. He annihilates all the Lings as well. This is getting kind of dicey. This one attack might pull Hero apart, actually. However, Unsiege, right as the Hydras are coming in, Lurker's going to come from behind as well. They get surround on these Marines, and a lot of them are going to end up going down. The vessels are going to make their way out through the right-hand side, it seems. Also, defense looking down here at bottom center. He holds for now. A little flag there. Cleaning out a few units. Should be able to move down to bottom left now. He holds, but he hasn't secured another base, which is what he needs to do. Just 1,300 gas left on that third, and 300 here on the naturals. So things are getting quite desperate. Main is mined out, but this base, and this base are going to be mining here for Vegeta. Has a very good amount of income to roll with. Lots of SCVs. There's 48 drones, but as we've talked about before, as we've discussed, this is the most efficient Zerg combination when controlled correctly. If your opponent is getting plagued and Hydras are cleaning up everything, if you're able to get on top of the tanks and just keep resetting that count, very difficult for the Terran to take a better trade than you, and that's part of the beauty of Brood War. As the armies get bigger and bigger, it's going to be harder and harder for the player who's ahead to take good trades, because they'll constantly be having to deal with moving larger armies and holding down more bases. Whereas all Hero is focusing on is just defending the small corner of the map that he has and readying himself for an attack out onto the map to break one of these locations. And he is going to set up lurkers under Darkstorm on the left-hand side. That's going to buy him some time so he can try and assault this high ground. Darkstorm on the high ground. There is, however, a Firebat in the bunker, which will end up killing a lot of these Lings, which are meant to kind of break through these bunkers. Lurkers coming up. That's going to be kind of the clincher. That's what's actually going to push through. And so he will be able to break these high ground bunkers and possibly wipe out all the SCVs. You can see SCVs are being evacuated over to the left-hand side. He wants to buy some time. Hopefully try to get those SCVs out at some point. This lurker here is going to get a ton of kills, I imagine. So many workers going down over there in the top right. But another base down here in the bottom left is already mining. That's wild. Vegeta is doing a great job of playing macro Terran. He's got tons of gas banked up. He's still got 59 SCVs. As a few more go down here in the top right, that number will drop, of course, but it's still a great number to keep pumping Marine tank with and keep this pressure on. He's got a great number of tanks now on this side as well. He's cutting off the top right from any sort of units that might try to make their way up there. He's not allowing a drone to move into position in the top right, and so even though Hero's taken this over, he actually can't get another base online. Swarm there. Is there a plague for this army as well? Looks like not. 3 defilers in there, 1 goes down. The Hydras are going to push things back, but this is a losing battle. I'm very worried for Hero at this point. I think he might be just about running out of his gas and running out of steam in this game. Whereas Vegeta is just continuing to grow. And he's got a massive supply ready to bring to bear. He hasn't... That's one thing I'm worried about. Like, he hasn't gotten extra vehicle weapons upgrades. Those are kind of essential for a composition like this. Let's say those are extremely valuable upgrades to have, but he's on the way now. He's getting that upgrade coming as we speak. And I don't think we ever saw 3-3. You know, we had 3 armor, but no 3 attack for these Hydras. And lurkers are going to come out, trying to move towards bottom left. But again, tanks blocking the way. Hero never got drop, so they can't really just drop up onto this high ground and try to move in that direction. Dark Swarm gonna come down here, just hold this position. And the Hydras will finally come up this ramp. They're gonna come up the ramp, kill off this bunker. And we will see him look to break bottom left, but again, Vegeta just responds immediately. He's got tanks on the top side, he's got tanks on the bottom side, and he's just denying bases. That's all he needs to do right now. Just deny, deny, deny. As long as a drone doesn't make its way over into his bottom left, he's happy. You can sit up here on the high ground with lurkers all you want. Irradiates are coming for you. Hero doesn't really have a lot of options, guys. Another command center was being built down here. How funny is that? Right in the face of those Zerg units. Trying to push forward now. Hero having a real struggle to break these tank lines, but there's not many Marines covering this. No Radiates to help out either, but here comes a big group of vessels now to start to push this back. Lurkers under Dark Swarm holding their position. Another Dark Swarm gonna come down and just keep the position even more solid. However, reinforcements have arrived. Let's push up onto this high ground, and could even start to set up tanks over here as well. Factory on that high ground will start to produce tanks soon, I imagine. Vegeta, I mean, he's making some great choices. Tactically, I think his choices are quite sound in this game. A lot of units coming down for Hero. They're actually going to assault top center. That's a big move. That's going to cut off one of the only mining bases of Vegeta, but will that be enough? He definitely could have done that a little bit sooner. Going into that base and killing off these SCVs a little bit sooner might have been made a big deal, but okay. Lurkers just running in. They're going to die. Those are on a hotkey that they shouldn't have been on, clearly. A good plague there. Hydras are chasing. Gonna go ahead and try to kill that CC, but SCV is just transferring down the bottom left, and I don't think that Vegeta can be broken here. It's looking very strong. The number of units that are popping up for Hero at this point are very low. There's hardly anything coming out, and I don't even know if he'll be able to just stay alive in a position like this. Darkstorm Plague. A bit of Darkstorm and a bit of Plague. Pretty much anything is possible. Any sort of hold is possible. Almost. Gonna hold for the moment. But holding is not what he needs. Holding is just a band-aid for this sticky situation. What he truly needs is another base to come online. He's gonna try and run a drone to top right. Instantly denied. These tanks blocking out everything. Good snipes there on some of these very important science vessels, but again, Defiler will lose its life. 2 and a Radiate. Nearly out of gas, guys. Depleted. Third base gas is depleted. Fourth base will last for quite a bit longer, but it's basically 2 gas. 2 gas mining. It's just not gonna cut it. Here for Hero, he's gonna eventually dry out, and oh my gosh, he's gonna lose this Defiler as well. The base is gonna be broken. That Defiler needed to throw something down with that. He is gonna have another Defiler pop out, but it doesn't have any energy. It gets sniped down as well. Absolutely crushing this base. The tanks push in. A moment of weakness there for Hero, and Vegeta takes him down. Really good play from Vegeta. I mean, he had a very good position. Put on a lot of pressure in the early game on that third base. Almost broke that location. Now, Hero was kind of on the back foot for a long time, but we've seen before what's possible when it comes to a pro gamer abusing Hydralisk Defiler. If you don't believe me, go back and look at that Action versus Ride Sky game. My goodness. Coming back from an insanely bad position as Zerg with Hydralisk Defiler. But Ride Sky had better control. I gotta say, he had, excuse me. Vegeta had better control than Ride Sky. Absolutely. And a better game plan. The way that he maneuvered, and he didn't try to get up on high grounds or anything like that. He just said, no, I'm just gonna park here. If everything runs past and you get up into my base in top right, I'll just come back here and just park. We're just gonna park a bunch of tanks on this high ground. If a bunch of stuff gets down into this base, we're just gonna move over here and park. Just gonna park a bunch of tanks over here. Let you run into me. And you did a fantastic job of it. Hero taps out. That's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.